What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 46 of Lyon Live here in Football Manager 2019. Hopefully you guys are doing good today. We're back, of course, and today we're going to get straight into it. We've got lots of matches to do today. I want to try and get 4 done. Fenerbahce, Lyon, Cannes, and also Marseille. Those are the 4 games that we have. Some big games in there. Particularly the first and last one, of course, in Europe. It's always important to get off to a good start. And well, that's what we're going to try and do today. Whether or not we're going to be successful in our quest there remains to be seen. We'll have to see how we get on. I feel like at home against Fenerbahce, we should be doing well. If you missed last episode for whatever reason, Koeman made his debut. He got a goal on his debut as well. In fact, he got an assist as well yesterday. He did pretty good, all in all. I'm hoping that that's the start of more to come, particularly for the money we're paying him. But besides that, it was just an okay run, really. The loss against Toulouse has still kind of hit me hard. And to be honest, we've been, I don't want to say underwhelming, but if we just look at the league table here and kind of the stages, we've scored 10 goals in 5, which by our own standards really isn't that great. We've conceded 4 goals in 5 as well. And we've not really got kind of an out-and-out notable goal scorer yet. Fekir's got 2 goals and 4 assists. He's just doing Fekir things for us. Trincão's got 2 goals. Gabels has got 2 goals. One of those was in the league. One of them wasn't. And Ndombele, who of course got sent off in the league, he's back in the team. Well, for Europe at least. He will be suspended, I think, for the next league game or 2. And, well, you can see the rest of the goal scorers here. We've really not got a standout player yet. And when you look at the average ratings in the last 5 games, it's just a little underwhelming, really. Anyway, Lenglet I don't think is going to be fit, unfortunately. So what we'll do is we'll bring Gnan onto the bench and then bring in Marković. Of course, Marković made his first team debut last episode. Yoris Nyangon, I answers on a postcard how to say his name. He's going to come onto the bench. This guy, he's a good little kind of backup centre-back. Of course, last year in the summer, I say last year in the summer, this summer just gone, I really should say, we did lose a few of our kind of backup centre-backs. We lost Stenea for 12.5 million. We lost Marcelo as well to Gungam. They were kind of conscious decisions. We made some good money for them. But it does mean that Gnanon, he's not the best centre-back backup option. Obviously, what I'd more likely do if this guy was to need to come in is we'd move Militao to centre-back and then we'd bring in Lucas Romero to play right-back. That would probably be my preferred solution to the centre-back position if we did have, 2 of our first free choice centre-backs out. But I feel like as things stand, we've got a nice balanced squad. The squad's not too big at the moment either. I feel like that's something that we've always wrestled with here. Whereas I feel like a squad of 26 plus, a few youngsters who we brought in to do some mentoring with. It's a team that's got quite a lot of flexibility. Anyway, I need to think about the team a little bit. Before I started recording, I did just look at our best 11 and on what might be our best 11. I'm still not really sure what our best 11 is. Koeman is just an interesting one because he can obviously play out on the left or he can play out on the right. I feel like he is just significantly better as a winger than as an inside forward. But equally, I feel like we do rely on inside forwards with how we play. I'm still kind of weighing up the idea of going back to what we did before with the personalised formations and, positions where maybe when it comes to him out in this position, we do change things up. Maybe we do make it so that as a personalised instruction, we do have him just as a winger and that's what he does for us out on the right-hand side. It could work. Particularly with the Mazzala and the more direct attacking style of play. The Mazzala will hopefully tuck into the channel between him and Fekir. But in some of our other systems, we might hit a bit of a snag there. We'll kind of just have to play it by ear and experiment, I think, a little bit with how we're going to approach things. But obviously, he's just too good a player not to have in the team. Anyway, we've got Fenerbahce tomorrow, and fitness actually, when you look at it, it's a little bit of a concern. We're lacking a little bit. I probably should have rested a few players sooner. I'm looking mostly at Militao and Fekir here, although there's a few other names in and around the first team who should probably be rested. Lenglet is out for, I think it said 5 to 10 days, so he's going to miss this game and probably the game against Lyon. I feel like the game against Lyon should be a fairly kind of standard one. Newly promoted team. They've got our 16-year-old in goal for them. I feel like it's a game that we should walk relatively easily. Whether or not that is how it'll play out, we'll have to wait and see. Apparently we're lacking some coaches for the reserve teams. I've only ever, when we've been here, focused on our first team. I mean, the coaching kind of responsibilities on the whole are fine. I always get a bit confused with how the overlap works here between the reserves and the first team, because obviously reserve coaches factor into these stars and stuff. But I guess we could just add in some more reserve coaches if we needed to. I mean, do we need to? If we just look at the staff here, our coaching staff is just kind of the regular size. I guess I could always ask for more coaches and maybe look to bring in some reserved coaches, but at the same time, I don't feel like we're super desperate. Got slots for 2 more coaches. Is there any one area that's not as good as the others when we look at the star ratings here? Maybe a defending coach, now I look at it, would be pretty good. We don't have like a really super standout one for tactical or technical. Which would I want? I mean, we have good coaches already in those areas. They're just not great. The other thing we could look for is possession and technical. You know what, I might look for a possession technical and a defending technical, but they're going to need to be very, very good to be improvements on what we've already got. Of course, I've not really, as I said, kind of touched our scouting situation since we first took over, so it's not been something I've worried about a great deal. But anyway, in terms of attributes, let's sort this out right now. Coaching, coach, defending, technical is what we want here. We'll put everything on 15 as a starting point. There is actually a guy here, although he's naturally a scout. But apparently he's also a really, really good defending coach. So with that in mind, we're going to try and offer him an offer that he can't refuse. Now, worth noting with this guy, he has no interest in being a coach, but he's a very, very good coach. So I'm going to lock in the coach job so you can't revert it. Now, sometimes coaches will flat out reject this. Sometimes if you offer them enough money, they are kind of swung by it. You can see here, he's just gone no chance, which is a bit of a shame. But there are some other coaches here. Mark Hudson, he's a very well-rounded coach, perhaps lacks the specialisation I'm looking for. The other option we have is Andoni Galliano. I mean, both these guys are very well-rounded coaches. This guy looks particularly good as a possible technical defending coach, actually. So we'll get him in as a starting point. He actually wants to be an under-19s coach. I mean, would he want to be a reserve coach? You can see here the reserve coaches are treated separately, so we could always just bring in some really good reserve coaches. I think that's what we'll do. I guess we might as well bring in Hudson as well and hope that he'd want to be a reserve coach. I guess that's going to help our youth development. I feel really bad that I don't know enough about the reserve coaching. I feel like in my own saves normally, I just kind of fill the reserve coaching roles with just good coaches kind of all round. I don't necessarily look for anything particular. You know, I kind of try and really min-max the star ratings for the coaching at the club. But in terms of beyond that, I don't look into it a great deal. Dirk Kuyt's available as a coach. Yes, please. See, interestingly enough, he wants to be an under-19s coach. We already have a reserve manager. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to make him a reserve coach. It's pretty interesting, actually, that I've not had these coaches set up, because normally I would sort them out. It's just something, to be honest, I've just kind of forgotten about. But hopefully some of these guys want to be under-19s coaches as well. I'm not really looking for the same level of specialisation here. Rather, I'm just looking for people who are really well-rounded coaches who, on the face of it, look good. Which might not necessarily be the best way to approach things. But it's the approach I'm electing to take here, since we are just, signing basically under-19s coaches. This guy doesn't want to be an under-19s coach. He doesn't want to be a reserve coach either. I'm going to lock it in and just see if he's interested. He's not. Really, we should be looking at younger coaches that are coming up here, because they're less likely to have experience, so are going to be more willing to maybe come in and help at a more junior level. But yeah, we got some good, well-rounded coaches here. What have I got coming in now? I've lost track already. So we've got two under-19s coaches and 3 reserve coaches. I think we could bring in... Could we bring any more under-19s coaches? I wish I'd paid more attention. Let's have a look at this guy. Under-19s coach. No, we're going to be on the threshold of that. We've also got 3 reserve coaches coming in. We already have all the reserve roles set up. It'd be really good if it showed to the right here kind of how many of each reserve position you could have. We already have reserve coaches maxed out as well now with all the new additions we've got coming in. So there weren't that many great defending coaches, just going back to what we were looking for initially. What could be good is a possession coach who is very good technically. Let's see if we can pick one up who's particularly good. Andre Villas-Boas is available. I mean, he'd be one hell of a signing, but he wants to be a scout. Are you interested in being a coach? Delighted. I mean, yes. Welcome back to football, Andre. I'm going to give you a nice fat wage rise as well. You want 9 grand? I can give him 9 grand. Give him the keys to the city. Andres Villas-Boas is one of those kind of coaches you've forgotten about. I mean, look where he's been. He got sacked from China 3 years ago. He's been looking for a job since. I mean, I think he could be a good little coach for us, to be honest. John McDermott's available. I feel like I had this guy as a coach in one of my saves. I've been far too excited by clicking on John McDermott here, but I feel like it's a name that I remember maybe from having years ago in an FM save, and he was really good for me. He's actually a really good head of youth development. He's not that interested in being a coach, unfortunately. There's also this guy, Zhao, who, again, he looks like a very, very good coach. Villas-Boas, not a great defending coach, but in terms of what we're looking for, he could be great. I still feel like a defending coach would be good, but there really isn't one out there. You know what, I might just bring in Zhao here. I think he'd be a good addition, assuming he wants to join from Monaco. And although we've not got the defensive improvement there, I think it would put us in a pretty good spot in terms of just really good depth coaching just across the board. Anyway, now that I've done some spontaneous backroom shuffling, shall we get into the game today? I'm tempted to start with Moise Kean up front, which might seem like a really odd change, but Gabels has been a tiny bit underwhelming. He can have a bit more of an impact off the bench. Equally, I'm tempted to start Aouar, advanced playmaker, which might seem absolutely mad in the Europa League against Fenerbahce, but I feel like Aouar genuinely is good enough to play in this kind of game and show us what he's got. Fakir's fitness as well isn't 100% by any means. In fact, Militao is also struggling at right back, so I might bring in Lucas Romero here. Now, you could argue I'm being a little bit disrespectful to Fenerbahce with this rotation, but I feel like our team should be good enough to go toe-to-toe with them and ultimately get the win. And I don't really want to risk injuries in this kind of game. Given our start to the league season, we are in hot pursuit of a few teams ahead of us, but we really don't want to be slipping up or suffering from injuries. You know, a player like Fakir, don't get me wrong, absolutely key to how we play. But if there's one thing that I think we've experienced here at Lyon, it's been the fact that when we have called upon those more fringe players, actually, they've done a job for us 9 times out of 10. So we're going to give them a chance here. Moise Kean, obviously, Aouar, Lucas Romero. Not small players in terms of stature by any means, but players who aren't the first team regulars. They're not the first kind of names down on the sheet, but they're the kind of players who could earn a spot there if they can put in a good performance. And, well, we'll see what they can do here. And Ndombele to Lucas Romero. Now, with Aouar, speaking of the Devils, they're all lining up and linking up. Aouar goes back to Lucas Romero, crosses it in. Couldn't pick out Depay at the back post. We aren't playing the direct attacking style of play. I'm just wondering if I should go to the more controlling style of play to be mindful of a counter-attack. Well, no, we've not had a great deal of the ball in the opening phases. You know what? We'll go to the controlled system. A little more conservative. Probably a wiser move to start in Europe. Particularly with how they are lining up here. You can see it's a very, very defensive system. Anyway, we've got a set piece here. Memphis whips it back post. Wallace is there. Unfortunately, he can't get his header goalward. It's now with them to clear it out. Romero, though, he sweeps up the pieces like a handyman in Roller Coaster Tycoon. I mean, that's a random reference that we've come up with. But he's like those guys. If you've never played Roller Coaster Tycoon, go buy it on Steam for £4. It's like the best game ever. I think I got mine in a cereal box. Either way, he's like the handyman in that game. Anyway, Ndombele, penalty. Stonewall, going to be given. Apparently we're going to VAR. VAR's just giving it. No doubt about it. Fakir's out. You know what that means? Do you know? I don't know who is actually stepping up here. It's Memphis. He steps up, he scores. Keeper goes the wrong way. I was stalling there because I was like thinking it was going to be Gabels because Fakir wasn't playing. But of course, Gabels isn't playing either, so it falls down to Memphis. The crown has been passed down through generations. The next to the heir was found. It was Memphis. And he was the right pick. The crown did fit on his head. He's tucked it into the bottom corner. 1 goal up against Fenerbahce. Since we've made that tactical change, we have settled into this game a lot better. However, a few bookings, which is a teeny tiny bit concerning so soon into the game. You can see Tottenham in the other game in our group winning 1-0 as well. Harry Kane with a goal for them. Can we get another Wallace headed just wide of the post. That was a really good header by him. Unfortunately, just couldn't quite get it goalwards in the end. If we could get a second before half-time, it would be great. We've got another chance here. Wallace, free header at the back post even. Unfortunately, straight down the keeper's throat. He was able to catch that with ease. We've looked pretty solid, I feel like, so far. Would be a good way to describe how we've looked in this game. We've looked competent. However, if they were to score now, it would be a bit disastrous. We want that goal before half-time. Coman, look at him run. Oh my gosh, he's still going. Finish it, please. Oh my God, he's worth 72 million. He is worth 72 million. No one can tell me it was a bad transfer. What a goal. He's picked it up. I mean, that's mad. What a mad goal. I want to watch it again. How do we go back? Take me home. I mean, okay, so let's just relive this. Fenerbahce at the back. Bring it forward. Tackle here, but I think it's Toussaint. It is. He picks it up. What? About 25 yards from his own goal. He runs through the entire team. You think he's gone too wide. He tucks it home. I mean, give him the keys to the city. It's 2-0 here. Maybe a winger is what we'll play him on the right-hand side from time to time. If he's capable of doing that, then it doesn't matter what we're going to do with him. He's just going to do great. What a goal that was. Jeez. So often those runs just end up with the ball being smashed over, or the player, takes it to a stupidly tight angle and smashes it into the side netting. We've all played Football Manager. We know what happens. It's not happened there. Right, I'm going to bring in Gabels. Aouar's not had the best game by any means, so I think we will bring in Fekir. Do I want to bring in Fekir? You know what? I don't need to. I'm going to bring in Gnan on, and I'm going to bring him in for Toussaint, who's on a booking. I'll go with a double change. A little bit of an unusual change, maybe, to bring Gnan on in at a more defensive midfielder role. You think of him more as a centre-back, but we have been training him to play centre-mid. And in this kind of game here, where we have moved, Lucas Romero out to right wing-back, it is, a role that we might look to have him, serve in the team as this kind of ball-winning midfielder. I feel like if he can be versatile, if he can add it as another, string to his bow, it would just be good for us in terms of versatility off the bench. It's something that I absolutely love to have in Football Manager. Oh, what? Okay. I want to ask where Lopez has gone here, because Fenerbahce have scored. With 9 minutes left, we can't afford to relax. It's their first shot of the game on target. Can someone explain the goalkeeping? Can anyone? I mean, please. Where's he going? Not sure about that one, Chief. Not sure about that one. Memphis, can you put us again ahead? Oh my gosh. No, not with a free kick that doesn't even hit the target. He can't. Skews it wide of the post. Fenerbahce, I mean, they're still in this. With the time that remains, they could still cause us some problems. They've got a free kick. Last kick of the game, surely. Lopez holds on to it. It's not been overly convincing ultimately on the scoreline, but I feel like when you look at the performance here, we were by far and away the better team, and we are a deserved 2-1 victor in that game. Good win. A very good win. Ultimately, that Coman goal was the difference maker, so praise him. I mean, he must have got player of the match for that goal, right? Yeah, he did. He did get player of the match. Terrier played against Bayern, so good to see him playing against Bayern. You can see here of course, Lille in the Champions League. Kanate also played in that game. Unfortunately, they did lose 3-1. Gravenberch played 14 minutes for Porto against Celtic. It's pretty good just to see him playing football. And Coman, he picks up man of the match. What a goal that was. I mean, he's already a favourite of mine now. Who cares if he's been declining in training? He's a god. We make a record amount in gate receipts as well here. You can see £1.6 million received. That's not too shabby, is it? Not too shabby at all. I mean, a good way to start today's episode. I feel like theoretically easier games. I say theoretically because you guys know how this works. Like, a game can look easy on paper, but it never is. Just looking at it in Ligue 1, some of the younger players we promoted to play in the first team, we can just register. So if we did feel like one day feeling a bit adventurous, maybe giving an Eder a game, or even who were the other players? I like the fact it went back to resorting them. Let's just look at it here. Okay. Never mind. I think it was Auger was the other player I was thinking of. If we want to bring them in, we can. Is it bad that I kind of want to give another a chance? I mean, he's very blooming good. Like, he's debatably better than DJ. And that's one thing we've got to consider here. Also, I should probably update my best 11 starting kind of team that's saved, because it's just not my best 11. You can see Trincao, or not Trincao, sorry, Coman isn't in the team. I feel like Coman probably has to be on the right wing from what we've seen so far. Is this what I consider to be our best 11? You know what? I think it probably is. It's a very, very strong team. It's got to be said. I guess there's a debate to say that Trincao and Traore both don't need to be there. See, the dilemma is I'd really like to sell Bertrand Traore. I would really like PSG just to buy him off me, even if it's for just 40 million. Just because it would help my squad selection a little bit. I mean, the thing is, Traore can play out on the left if need be. But we already have Moise Kean who can play there. So do we really need Traore and Trincao on the bench, two kind of left-footed right inside forwards? You'd say probably not. Trincao would be the obvious player to drop. His squad status currently is first team. That's a little too high for my liking. I'm going to switch him to a backup. To be fair though, he's got the 2 goals for us so far. I think this probably is our best 11. I think it probably is on reflection, even if it is a little bit overloaded in some areas. Oh yeah, I guess Saint-Maximin probably needs to be there for the kind of left wing. Maximin's the left wing option, Bertrand Traore is the right wing, Moise Kean is the striker. The way things are going though this year, I feel like we are going to rotate the team even more than last season. You know, just in general, I feel like that is something that we will do. I'm trying to remember. Is that how I saved the best 11, or was it like that? It was like that. Yeah, I thought that's how it was. Right, so we now have the best 11 saved. Obviously, I've got the old best 11 lineup saved. It's kind of interesting. You can see, obviously, we haven't used these since the first season, but you can see how, from when I first took over, 7 of the players who were in the starting team, who I thought were our best players, are still at the team now, which isn't actually that bad. Within the starting 11 itself, from all those years ago, there is, 7 players who still remain, which, I don't know, in Football Manager terms, you can have quite a high turnover of players in the first few years. So it's nice to see that, there are players who are still at the club who were here when we started. And a lot of them are all, regular starters still as well. Anyway, if this is our best 11, which I'm pretty sure it is, unfortunately we're not going to be able to field it today against Lyon. They're probably struggling a little bit with fitness. I think we'll bring Coman onto the left and then we'll play Traore on the right. This will mean that we are playing with the inside forwards. Additionally, I think we will start Gibels for today's game. Toussaint is 1 yellow card away from a suspension at the moment. I'm not as worried if he gets suspended today because he'll miss the Cannes game, but I'm more concerned about if anyone gets suspended in that game, they won't be available for the Marseille game. Anyway, Lyon is only, 2 days away? We've got a few of those coaches we were looking at coming in, which is good news. It's probably worth resting a few players here. So we'll give them a day off. Hopefully that'll just give them a little bit of time to recoup ahead of the game against Lyon. Lenglet has decided he wants to stay. He was unhappy about his contract, but apparently he's happier with his current terms, which is good. I mean, he has only got 3 years left on his current deal. I would love to extend his contract, but I feel like he wants way more money than I'm willing to offer. Okay, I've told him we'll improve the coaching team and I want him to be a first choice player. He wants 90. You've not lowered your demands at all. You've literally not lowered your demands. I bet he gets unhappy now. He said he was happier with his current terms. His current terms are £53,000 a week. I asked him, are you interested in a new deal? He's like, yeah, a new deal would be good. It's like blooming Theresa May. You can't agree on a deal. He wants to stay, he wants to leave. What does he want? He doesn't know, I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Lyon, they're in 13th, away from home. We've got our coaches join us, Dirk Kuyt's join us, and Villas-Boas. We're just getting in some Premier League favourites from years gone by, both in terms of coaches and in terms of, I guess, players. Anyway, if we look at the assignments here, as I said, they kind of just get tacked on the end here, whereas I don't actually know if they make that bigger a difference because it's not ever really clearly stated anywhere. Anyway, we can rejig things a fair bit here actually now looking at it. So in terms of technical, we did have rig on it before. So we can take rig off it. What will we put him on instead? Is there anything where he gets above 3.5 stars? No, is the answer. I'll tell you what, we'll just have him be a defensive depth coach just to kind of keep the workload low. But we could have him on technical as well just to help with that lower workload too. And then Dirk Cow is just a bit of a master of all trades. He just loves a bit of every kind of coaching apparently. Just think about what I would like to have him do. Oh, actually, he's an improvement in defending technical. I mean, that's an achievement in itself. We'll have him be defending technical rather than tactical. With that now maxed out, we can now move Bolingbroke to cover 2 areas as well, which is good news there. And of course, we've got more coaches coming in potentially, like Hudson here. I'll tell you what, we'll reevaluate that kind of assignment stuff once all the new coaches we've got are coming in. Is there many more? There's one more that we're looking at bringing in. And he's joined us. Oh, look at that. They all just come in. It's like, I don't know what it's like. I was trying to think of an analogy. I almost went with another roller coaster tycoon one. It's like we've just opened the new ride and they're all getting in the queue. They're all above the Lyon train. I don't know where I'm going with this. Let's just end it now. Right. So we've got these new guys who have joined us. Hudson. See, Hudson might even be... Yeah, Hudson makes us a 4-star defending tactical team. Do we have 4-star in everything now? We do. I mean, hey, that's pretty good. I'm just wondering for Galliano here what we should have him train as. Can he improve anything above what it currently is right now? No. No is the answer. You know what? He can just do a bit of everything. He can be the wandering sheep of outside... outer field coaches, outside fielder coaches. No, what I mean is, in terms of outfield training, he's just going to do a bit of everything. He's like the supply teacher. If there's ever an extra pair of hands needed or anyone's sick, he's the man. He's going to turn up and do a job for us. Anyway, looking at our team, resting up, we look in pretty good shape actually. We're going to take this game seriously. I feel bad for our goalkeeper. And not this goalkeeper, not Lopez. No. I feel bad for Durand. He's a regen goalkeeper, 16 years old, on loan from us. To be fair, he's improved an absolute boat ton. I'm curious to see how he does today. He will be under the microscope. Under the microscope makes it sound quite, not pleasant, but not so intimidating. Really, he's going to be up against a firing squad. That's probably a better analogy for what's possibly going to happen here. We're going to play the direct attacking style of play, I think. Away from home, Lyon, I don't think are going to play as defensive as they might come into our ground. Equally, I feel like we should be more than capable of breaking them down and winning this by a few goals. Marković, nice tackle by him. To Coman, who nods it to Goebbels. What can he do? He's going to dink it, trying to pick out Traore. Not the best pass in the world, was it? Now with Wisser. Good name. Mendy reads it like a book. One thing I haven't talked about in the last week, you may have seen it, the real-life Lyon coach, head coach, manager, has announced that he's leaving at the end of the year. But also there's been all this drama with players fighting. So Marcelo and Fekir, obviously Marcelo being the centre-back, Fekir, we know who Fekir is, had a fight. And also I believe Mendy and Memphis had a fight. I know that those 4 players were involved. I hope I've got the right players in the right fight there, as they have a goal disallowed for offside after 2 minutes. But yeah, there's been drama in Lyon, in real life as of late. All I'm saying is, to whoever the future Lyon coach is, you just need to take Toussaint, just get him to solve all your problems. There wouldn't be any fighting if you got Toussaint just to make them all be friends. You know, he's like a marriage counselling advisor, is Toussaint. You can get, any 2 players in a squad to get along. Fact. That's what Football Manager's taught me. Where's Coman going? I mean, after his last goal, he's allowed to shoot from wherever he wants. He can do whatever he wants. I'm never going to question it. Never going to complain about it. Unless he does it all the time and doesn't score ever again. In which case, I might then complain about it. But, well, what I'm not going to complain about is Fekir going on a run like that. Spreads it to Traore. Lovely build-up player. Dinked Goebbels. It doesn't get to it. It falls to Kingsley Coman. He scores again. It doesn't matter if he's on the left or the right. He's just going to get goals for us. maybe he's going to be the player who ensures we get the title again this year. Maybe I'm going to be thanking the board again come the end of the year. It's a nice ball in. Questionable goalkeeping by Durand. Agent Durand doing the business for us. I mean, you've got to respect it. Our man on the inside just making magic happen for us. Fekir rides one tackle, breaks through. Where are you going, Fekir? Lays it to Ndombele, who hits it. Oh my word. I mean, that's a blooming good goal, isn't it? I mean, today is just an episode of screamers. Can we discuss this? Fekir, like, rides a tackle, marauds forward, makes a run, kind of pulls the midfield apart, like pulled pork, and then the effort falls to Ndombele. He just smashes it home. Has he just done like a chicken wing celebration there? If he has, like, fine him. Not a good celebration. Right, we're looking for a third here. We could have the third. It's just gone over the crossbar from that header. I mean, considering they had a goal disallowed for offside, the fact we've got 2 goals within 2 minutes of each other has kind of helped us just relax into this game a little bit more, it feels like. Anyway, what can we do from the back? We go all the way to Lopez here. What is the Portuguese keeper going to do for us? A bit of experience. He gives it trustingly to Wallace, who then just abruptly throws possession away. Fortunately, Kingsley's there. Just run at the goal, Kingsley. Fekir now with it. Plays through Gabels. He wants a league goal. He needs a league goal. He's got a league goal. It's his 3rd of the season in all competitions. His 2nd in the league. Hopefully now we can find some form. It's like my players heard me. They heard me question, complain just about our general lack of goals in our opening games. And they've gone, you know what, Gaffer? Let's do something about that for you. The ball through to Gabels here. Into that bottom corner. Lovely, lovely goal by him. 3rd goal of the season. Fekir with another assist. He's got 2 for the day. He was already leading the charts for assist at the club. He's probably leading it in the league as well now I think about it. Half time here, 3-0. Very, very comfortable. I feel bad for Durand a little bit. Anyway, second half. What can we do? Can we get another 3? I feel like that's got to be the aim here. Part of me's like, well, maybe I should just bring in, you know, Moise Kean, let him have a bit of a run out, let him like do his thing. I've noticed that the Lyon coach is doing lots of shouts from the touchline and they're having a reaction, but they're not doing a great deal. Oh my gosh, Fekir's free kick there was almost sublime. Let's make some changes. Toussaint's not at the best of games. We'll bring in Romero. I'm going to bring in Saint Maximin. I'm going to bring him on for Traore. And then we'll swap him and Coman around. Why is it playing Saint Maximin on the wing? Did I accidentally change the default position? If I swap them around now, does this work now? Yes. No. Yes. Yes, it does work. I'm going crazy. Although, this is the way around we want them. We want Coman on his right foot on the right wing, and we'll have Saint Maximin cut in from the left-hand side on his right foot. They've got a set piece here. Going to be looking for I want to say a consolation goal. Maybe that's being harsh on them with 20 minutes left. If they were to get one, it wouldn't be squeaky bum time immediately, but we'd be on the verge of it. Anyway, what can we do here? 20 minutes left. Fekir, run at them. I mean, our players are just running a lot today. Saint Maximin tackled. Falls to Mendy. Options. Headed away. Fekir back with it. Look for Coman at the back post. It doesn't get to him. Falls to Ndombele. Have another go. It's the crossbar. I mean, Ndombele almost doubled his tally for the game. What an effort that was. Fekir crosses it in. Headed goalwards and, well, hoofed clear in the end by Kone. Apparently we give a free kick there. Militao, you naughty boy. Why would you do that? Got one last change in us. I'm going to bring in Moise Kean and I'm going to bring him in for Gabels. Just a change of legs in the striker position. Want to give Kean plenty of first team opportunities this year. Even if it is off the bench, it's only going to serve his development well. 4 minutes left of added time, or regular time plus added time. I feel like job is done here now. We are in pole position. Can't complain about it at all. Saint Maximin crunched from behind. It looked worse than I think it perhaps was. Fekir here to Coman. Have a go. Oh my gosh, he's hit the woodwork. Keane's there for the rebound. Coman technically gets an assist. I mean, we're loving our long shots today. We're loving our screamers. Good to see Keane get his first goal of the season. I didn't realise he hadn't scored yet. That's a little confidence builder for him. He's going to get more opportunities, I think, this year as an out-and-out forward with Gabels. You know, with Martinez out the team, he is very much second in command when it comes to strikers. Last year, a lot of his appearances came off the wing, you know, on that left-hand side, playing as the inside forward. I feel like with Coman now in our ranks, he's going to be the player who perhaps eats up that spot. But I don't know. I think there's more than enough first-team opportunities for pretty much all the players at our side. I feel like we're going to see a lot of rotation throughout the season. But, well, what a result that was. 4-0 it finished. Then Ndombele got man of the match. An 8.9 for him. And now we can move up against Cannes, who are bottom of the league. I want to say an opportunity to maybe completely rotate the team. We'll evaluate it. Mario Ferreira played 90 minutes of Brest. Marin came on off the bench for Nice. Terrier played averagely. Shadas played averagely. Kanate had an okay game. Durand, he got a 5.8. It was at us, against us though. I feel bad. Maybe I should have told the players to be easier on him. Wonder how different that game would have been if the first goal hadn't been disallowed. It was a bit of a game changer, wasn't it, in the end? Anyway, we've got the team bottom of the league, and whilst we are away from home, it's probably a good opportunity to play a pretty much fully rotated 11. The board have announced that we can increase the percentage of transfer revenue to 80%. I guess they finally realised, hang on a minute, we have £100 million in the bank. That's a lot of money. Hopefully they give me some of that to spend in January. I'd be amazed if they didn't, to be honest. So I think for this next game, we're going to play pretty much a rotated 11. So that does mean Moreno's going to get a start. Well, I think we'll stick with Marković at centre-back. In terms of centre midfield, I think we'll go with Olmo and Kamara actually as our duo. Out on the right, we'll go with Trincao. Centre attacking mid, I'll go with Aouar. Out on the left, we'll go with Saint-Maximin, and then we'll play Moiskin up front. An opportunity perhaps for some players to make a claim for a first team spot. We'll also rest Marković just to be safe, but the rest of the players obviously coming you know, from out the reserve and kind of the, I guess, the fringes of the team. You can see here, Lala is the only player besides our backup keepers who's yet to make an appearance this year after today's game. Actually, even before today's game, if you ignore the 3 teenagers who we've kind of just promoted to see how they develop, we're looking at Kenny Lala, our 2 backup goalkeepers, and Glenn Kamara as the only players not to play. I'm actually tempted to play Lala at right back for Lucas Romero. But considering that's how much of our squad has played after, what, less than 2 months of the season, you can kind of see just why rotation, I think, is going to be so important for us this year. Anyway, PSG v Monaco, I think I saw there. We'll hope that Monaco can do us a favour and get a win. That would be ideal, Monaco, if you're feeling kind. If you're feeling giving, you'd certainly be giving us a helping hand. And unfortunately, they couldn't do it. Leon Bailey with a 92nd minute goal for them. Dijon, by the way, still top of the league. They've not played any of the big dogs just yet, but fair play to them. Maybe they can be this year's Lille. Maybe they're going to be challenging for a Champions League spot come the end of the season. That would be a pretty good achievement, to be fair. Training advice here. Aneda feels individual feeling. What was that? Sorry. Feels individual training is no longer suitable. What have we got Aneda being trained to do? Quickness. I mean, he has 11 acceleration. He can keep running and training all the time. Apparently, Aze's individual training has not been beneficial. What is his individual training? Shooting. Has he improved his finishing or long shot since he joined us? I think I already know the answer. It's a no, but he's not been here very long. There's time for it to improve. He'll have 8 finishing in his prime, I believe. And 8 finishing, that's good enough to score a goal or 2. 5 is a little off the pace. But anyway, not a great deal of downtime between the previous game and this one. The rotated 11 is going to get a chance to show us what it's made of. I'm hoping that Lala can continue his kind of fine showings that he's shown us over the previous 2 years. He's always been a player that we could rely on. plenty of strong options, though, on the bench. You know, if we are struggling, we can change a game quite drastically with our subs on the bench. I think we'll also promote Ndombele for Wallace. We'll just have Eden Militao be the right-back and centre-back option. I mean, I like this team a hell of a lot. I'm actually going to save this just as a preset. So this is going to be best 11. I sometimes do this in other saves. 4-2-3-1, same thing as before. And then I put in brackets R, just so I know that is my rotated 11. Also, think about it. We can probably manage our selections and remove the two that we no longer use here. So now, very, very quickly, I can switch between first 11, rotated 11. And it obviously also gives these players a bit of a chance to familiarise themselves with one another and kind of build up a bit of synergy. I think the other nice thing about presets like these is you don't have to use the same preset every game, but it just gives you a nice quick way to go, right, I want to rotate my team because fitness is struggling. Here's my rotated 11. And then you can kind of very easily handpick maybe one or two first team players that you'd like to feature in the starting 11. I find that a lot more convenient way to do things rather than having, you know, your best 11, your normal selection, and then individually, you know, swapping out for rotated players. I don't know. It's just how I approach things. Obviously, everyone has their own way of playing Football Manager. I feel like kind of team, kind of preset selections can be a nice little time saver in a lot of ways. Anyway, we're taking on the team bottom of the league here. I'm hoping we can just win comfortably. That would be ideal. We had a pretty good opportunity there. It was a goal line save. Maybe a chance from this corner to score, though. Our back post, won by Gnanon. Unfortunately, no one was there to follow up, and it's parried away. I mean, they look like they're wanting to hit us on the break. I'm always tempted to switch to the controlling style of play. Fortunately for us, they can't pick out the right pass. I'm going to show Ken a bit of respect because they look pretty good on the break there. We're going to switch to kind of our controlling system. It's a little more conservative. It's a little more safe, I guess. But in games where you're worried about the counter-attack, I think it can work quite nicely. And particularly with how their team's lined up, I think it's quite apparent they're going to look to hit us on the break and, you know, not overcommit men forward just in general. Anyway, I saw Mario Ferreira got a goal there for Brest. I don't know if that's his first goal of the season. But of course, after his year with Sochaux, we're expecting big things from him this year. Good to see him playing for Brest. He must have started the game if he's playing and scoring this early on. Hopefully the first of many. Trincao whips in. Keane's there. Saved away by the keeper again. That was off the line too. Really, really good opportunity. The ball was whipped in for Moise Keane. Unfortunately, he couldn't direct it goalward, and well, Gnanon, he's off target even more so with his header there. I mean, you can see there the ball close to going over. Close, but no cigar. 10 minutes to go until half-time. We really need that goal. I would like us to break the deadlock. Otherwise, at half-time, maybe I have to look to bring on someone like Fekir to be a bit of a game changer. Trincao to Keane, who hits it. Lovely goal. Lovely move. Two of the youngsters who I think are very much features of the future starting 11, linking up superbly there. Trincao just drifts inside, lays it off to his Italian friend in Moise Keane, who, well, just tucks it away. I thought he might have been offside. He was actually played onside by number 22 for them, Timber. Thank you very much. Like a fallen log that couldn't move, he just played our entire team onside and we capitalised. Could we get another in quick succession? That would be ideal. Aouar with Olmo. Options on the overlap. Trincao might go on his own. Oh my gosh, that was not far wide. We've moved top of the league, apparently. I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. I did see PSG drawing 2-2. Ball whipped in here. I mean, they've scored. That's all very awkward, isn't it? Bamu with the goal. Nods it away. I don't know if we could have defended that better. It's a set piece. I mean, fair play to them. Slimani plays it short. They cross it in and we're just caught napping away. Really, really poor play by us in general there. And, well, they just capitalised off it. I mean, fair play to them. Half-time, 1-1. Not happy. I'm going to tell the players I'm not happy. Is there anyone who's played particularly bad? Saint-Maximin's been pretty poor. Also, Trincao has gone back to being a winger. Is that me screwing things up? Quite possibly. I now want to check. Tactics. Okay, he is set as a winger. That's me. Remind me after this game, chat. I say that like I'm streaming and that you guys are in chat live. I'm hoping I'll remember. Hopefully that's going to make a difference. Of course, Trincao did get an assist playing as a winger, so it clearly wasn't a completely awful move. But we'll move him back into his preferred role. And well, he's over the set piece here. Crosses it in. Timber heads it clear. Can we see the game, please? No. Knows the answer as St. Maximin has a shot saved. The cameraman in Football Manager has fallen asleep there. And, well, Aouar whips in. Samba collects. Samba in goal for them has saved their bacon, it feels like, a fair bit so far in this game. Aouar's not had a particularly good game, so I'm going to bring in Fekir, I think, for him. Glenn Kamara's on a booking as well. I'm going to play things safe. I'm going to bring in Eder Militao, however, to play the ball-winning midfielder role. See what he can do in centre midfield. Of course, with Fekir back in the team now, we've got our first choice set piece taker on it. And well, St. Maximin, you've got to bang that in. You've got to score that, lad. Back post, clear chance, one-on-one. Just kind of gives the little ball a love tap, really. Doesn't try a great deal, just caresses it. It was quite a loving touch of the ball, like he was scared he was going to hurt it. We're now, with an hour gone, it is slightly panicky. I'll be honest, especially if they were to score again. They've only had one shot on target. It was their goal. We have been on top in this game. With a switch into the direct style of play, though, don't make any mistake. We are playing to win this and try and get the goal. Bamu with it, passes it. And I mean, they've scored again. I mean, fair play. Adrian Thomason has banged it. It's a bit of a screamer. It's their second shot on target all game. I'm going to make another change here. St. Maximin's been poor. I'm going to bring in Coman and play him as an inside forward on the left-hand side. I don't even want to watch the goal again. It was a good goal. I will concede that right now. I want to do another shout, but I can't because we did one not that long ago. Let's not go flying into tackles. I mean, what is that? What are you doing, Marković? You absolute wazzock. We're playing the team bottom of the league. I mean, Moreno, you can't play centre-back. You can now. Happy Christmas. I don't know what to say. I mean, I've rotated the team, yes, but the sending off is shocking. I mean, the fact they've scored from 2 shots they had on target prior to the sending off probably isn't the best sign in terms of maybe we have got a bit unfortunate. I mean, there's still time for us to turn this around. They're bottom of the league for a reason. We have some real quality players on the pitch who can make something happen. Can they make something happen here? Coman turns his man, runs, hits it, saved by Samba. Not sure if it was going in. I don't want to look at stats. I want to give a shout. I want to demand more. We're also going to switch to very attacking here. We're going to be leaving ourselves a little bit exposed at the back, but we've kind of just got to go for it all guns blazing now. Playing this kind of unconventional 3 at the back. They're only playing with 1 forward, so I feel like it kind of works. What can we do here? Fekir. Tackled away. Falls to Coman, who hits it. Oh my gosh. Kingsley Coman. I don't know if the keeper could have done better. I'm giving Coman all the credit. What a goal that is. 4th of the season for him. I mean, cometh the man, cometh the hour. Maybe come the end of the year, we're going to look at him and go, actually, he was worth 72 million. Fekir's dispossessed. Coman, first time. I mean, the keeper should do better, but make no mistake, it's a good effort. It's right into the bottom corner. We're going to stay on very attacking here. We need another goal. We're a man down. We're down to 10 men. They're trying to hit us on the break. Surely not. Dione, he's through. Lopez, straight at him. Good save. I guess that you could say the save had to be made. I would have been very annoyed if he hadn't saved that one straight at him. It was not a particularly good effort. But, well, you have to make it, I guess is the argument. And make it he certainly did. What's happening? Well, I think one of their players has got injured. So as a result, we get to watch the whole highlight play out here. What are we doing? Is the cameraman drunk today? Maybe. Thomason's going to take... Is he going to take it? He is. Whips it in. Lopez collects. I mean, panic over. The cameraman today in Football Manager, he missed that St. Maximin chance where it just kind of lingered on the free kick. Now we've just got it kind of lingering, waiting for the corner taker. Right, can we get a goal? 4 minutes for Fekir to Coman. Surely not. Surely not. Kingsley Coman scores. 2 goals off the bench for him. Fekir with the assist. We'll switch to positive style of play now. Equally, I'm going to switch both Trincão and Coman to just wingers on support and drop them deeper. We just need to see out this game now. You know what, Militao. I just realised we've got Militao in our team. We could literally play a back four fine. We didn't lack the centre-backs at all. But hey, it worked for us playing the 3 centre-backs. I didn't really want to change anything in the final third. And because they were only playing with 1 striker, that's why with us getting one of our centre-backs sent off, I just kind of moved our full-backs closer together. Anyway, the job's not done here. They've got a chance. Oh my gosh, they've scored. Go back on very attacking. Why did we change anything? Why did we change anything? I mean, that is the biggest question of all, right? Coman. I should have just stuck with everything as it was. This is... People ask me sometimes, if I'd conceded while still playing on very attacking and with the same formation, people would have told me, Jack, why did you change things? It was going so well. This game is why I change things sometimes. Well, sorry, why I don't change things sometimes. Because it doesn't matter if you play defensive, sometimes it does just backfire. Anyway, tactical change hasn't even happened now, so we're currently playing with this deeper system. Maybe we're going to score immediately. Maybe I'm going to be spared my blushes, or maybe Trincão's going to smash it straight into the face of the midfielder. A highlights just started immediately. There is a chance here. Okay, there's not a chance. I've lied. 6 minutes of added time. Demand more. There's not a more attacking option, otherwise I would click it by now. This is going to finish 3-3. I mean, I feel bad for Coman as much as anything. Fekir, surely not. No, not going to happen today. Not going to happen. It's going to finish 3-3. It feels like a sucker punch and a loss, the way that has gone down in the end. Should not have switched to a more conservative system. Despite the sending off, can't really look at it as anything other than a poor display. Trincão's out for a little while with a pulled hamstring. That's a bit of a concern. You can see a number of our loaned out players playing. I did notice here, Ferreira, 2 goals to his name. I think those are his first 2 goals for Brest. Hopefully there's more to come. Shanas played a good chunk of the game for Gungam. He's continuing to improve as well. Coman, man of the match again. I mean, so far, player of the season, really. But it's not really a consolation given how things have gone in that game right there. Is Lenglet going to be fit? Return to full fitness immediately. You better believe it. Militao played a fair chunk of that game, so he's going to need a bit of a rest, as is Fekir. Our next game, by the way, is Marseille at home. And for that game, I think we will play the control possession system. I just want to check here. If I just swap Depay and Coman around... Yeah, I screwed up here. This should be an inside forward on attack. Nearly screwed up again. Inside forward on attack. So if I now swap it, Coman's a winger. Swap it back. Right, good. We've solved the mystery. It wasn't a mystery at all. It was just my incompetency. Marković getting sent off is a bit of a concern. I'm gonna. Do I want to fine him? Do I want to fine him? That's what I've got to decide. He's young. I mean, really, you've got to, instill some discipline into him at a young age, I feel like. We'll fine a week's wages. He accepts his fine, mate. You can't go around doing that. Not in games like that. Not in games like that. Not in games like that. Not ever, really. Anyway, this game's going to be a big one for us. It is going to be Marseille. They're in 8th, so they're a good team. Well, we know that, don't we? Stating the obvious. Thank you, Captain Obvious Jack. But they are a good team. Just by comparison, we are currently 3rd. We're 3 points behind PSG. I'm a bit annoyed that we've drawn that game, to be honest. Even if we were down a man and a goal down at one point, it's still disappointing. You can see here Fekir with 6 assists leading the way. Thuram is leading the way in terms of goals for Gungam with 6. Which is not too shabby at all, really. So we've got our big derby here. Goebbels has continued to develop. His pace has gone up to 17. Love that. Love that a lot. He's improving a ton. Glenn Kamara's facing uncertainty. Glenn, come here. Come here, Glenn, and now go away. Find a club. He's trying to force this move, but no one wants him. He wants the move, no one wants him. There's a problem there. You might be able to figure it out. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. See where the problem might lie there. Anyway, let's get straight into the game against Marseille. We've already got our team selected. This is the squad we're going to go with. Lenglet can play the full game, which is good news. Gnanon is a good option on the bench. Equally, Eder Militao could play. And then we could play Romero at right back if we need to. Yeah, this is the team we're going to go with, I think. I'm just wondering about Depay and his recent form. I'm wondering if maybe I should change things up a little bit. I don't know. I don't want to really change things unnecessarily. I think we're going to go with this 11. I was thinking about bringing in Bertrand Traoré on the right and then playing Coman on the left as an inside forward. But we'll go with this. Hopefully we can hit the ground running. We need to bounce back. I'm going to do the passionate for the fans team talk. And the reason I'm going to do that is because it's a derby. So they do actually get a little bit more of a reaction out of the team. Anyway, good responses across the board. Let's get into this. Let's get a win. Let's end on a high, please. They are playing a 4-4-2, which I think we can play into quite nicely. I do want to start with the controlling style of play, I think, as well, just to start today's game. We can kind of evaluate it as we go. They've got a chance here. Lopez collects. I mean, early on we have edged possession after 13 minutes, but there's not been a great deal of chances. Maybe we can make something magical happen here. Fekir to Gabels. Toussaint now with it. Got Mendy to the left. Got Wallace to the right. Goes to Wallace. Can we? I mean, I love this. This nice patient passing play, but it's got to amount to something. And well, it's going to amount to something as it breaks to Fekir. Now to Mendy. Mendy got a lot of assists last year. Hasn't had many this year. Almost had one there. Gabels heads it narrowly over. I'm not sure how many assists Mendy has got this year at left back, but he was a massive part of our team last season. This season, he's just been a bit quiet. I've not felt like I've been saying his name so much. Eder Militao, I mean, not a bad goal for a natural centre-back who's, you know, good at right-back as well. Not the best kind of right-back going forward, you'd argue, in some ways. He looked pretty good with that finish there. Toussaint as well with a rare assist. Picks up the ball here. You expect him to put in a cross. He just runs inside and smashes it home. The keeper, no time to react. We'll take that. We're up to second now. If we could get another in quick succession, I'd be on cloud 9. It's going to be Sakai at right back for Marseille. You can see we've got them very boxed in here. We're not closing down the ball necessarily, but we're very much, you know, trying to cut out the passing lanes. You can kind of see there's very few options. We're trying to force them to go long and really surrender possession to us. I mean, I'm on board with this. This is fine. Force them to go long, force the error out, and now there's all this space to work into. And Ndombele, Coman to his right. Coman now with it, switches it to Mendy. Lovely, lovely play. Crossed in, Gabels is there. Hits the woodwork, I think. It was narrowly over. Not a bad header at all, but needs to head some of these kind of headers downwards, you know? It's far too many just going over the crossbar for my liking at the moment. Fekir, set piece, hits it. I mean, cometh the man, cometh the hour. It's his third goal of the season. It's our second goal of the game. It's a Fekir free kick. We've seen many of those over the years here at Lyon. Not the best one. Not right into the top bins, but it creeps into that bottom corner. And we'll take it. We've been massively on top in this game. We've dominated possession. We look very, very good on the scoreline as well. Well worth our lead at half-time. The Fekir goal scorer, a little more predictable than the Militao one. I'm going to tell the players I'm happy as well with the performance. I could have criticised them a little bit, but I want them to relax into this game, particularly after the draw previously. Of course, we've got so many game-changing options on the bench. Our squad depth is great. I know that we've rotated our team and then drawn that previous match, but I mean, let's be honest. Squad depth-wise, we're in a position where we just have game changers on the bench. You know, when you've got players like Bertrand Traoré on the bench, Moise Kean on the bench, Aouar. These are players who can come in and really make a difference for us if we need them to, but at least so far in this game, it's been fairly standard. We don't look like we're going to be relying on those kind of players. Tovin rides one tackle, plays it to Jetty. Toussaint intercepts, goes to Fekir. Options left and right for him. Tries to pick out Coman. Was not the best pass by Fekir's incredibly high standards. And, well, Marseille, at least to start this second half, coming in fresh-legged. And, well, Campos with a shot narrowly wide. If they could have scored there with 40 minutes left and a one-goal margin, we might well have been game on. As it is, it went wide. Now maybe we have a chance. Memphis switches the play to Lenglet. What can the centre-back do? Back from injury, can't beat the first man. Wallace and Lenglet, the two centre-backs linking up. Gabels there. Coman wins the header. Gabels taps it home from 2 yards out. Coman with another assist. Right now, he is red hot on form. Maybe he is going to live up to the price tag after all. Maybe he will be, like Fekir, a player who gets goals, gets assists, a player we just rely on and can turn to. Feels like that's what we're getting from him, at least right now. And a lovely little goal for Gabels to get. Taps it home. It was fairly comfortable, let's be honest, but 3-0 up after an hour? I mean, it's the best possible situation I think we could have hoped for. Of course, if they do get one goal now, as they are on the attack, it could get a little uncomfortable. Lopez, though, great save by him down to his left-hand side. Didn't have to move a great deal, but he stood up tall. He didn't commit one way or the other in that one-on-one. Chance might not be completely over. Wallace, good tackle there, my son. Toussaint's on a booking, so in a kind of move just to play it safe, I'm going to take him off. Depay's not had the best game on the left, so I think we'll bring in Moise Kean to play as an inside forward on the left. Whilst he has very often come in as a striker, with Gabels playing well, a goal under his belt, I don't really want to take him off. Equally, I'd rather give Moise Kean the game time in a 3-0 lead over, say, Saint-Maximin, who's another player who could very much come in and play the same position and role from the bench that we have. Anyway, you can see here, Azani, Payet, what a goal that is. Not quite as good as some of the goals we've seen today, but make no mistake, that is one hell of a finish by the former West Ham man. 15 minutes left, they cut the deficit to 2. I still feel largely comfortable, but we can't afford to relax now. That is a good effort by Lopez to try and get to it. Unfortunately, the shot was an even better effort. The good news is they've not followed it up by scoring again immediately. And we are on the attack here. Gabels heads it. Can he get the rebound? Of course he can. Assist for Coman again. Potentially the two French kind of forwards of the future for the national team, with Coman on the right and then maybe, just maybe, Gabels leading the line. Gabels, first effort saved, gets the rebound though, tucks it home. Is that Mandanda in goal for them? Indeed it is. He's not had a particularly good game. And that is going to be all she wrote. 4-1 here against our fierce rivals. Make no mistake, that is a very good way to bounce back. Very, very good performance. And I did think I spied there in the league table. We've now climbed up to second. So I guess Dijon, in the last couple of games or so, have fallen off a little bit. Yeah, you can see they've lost their last 2 now against Lyon and Havre. But yeah, we lead the league in terms of goals scored. We've conceded 8 in 8, which isn't great, particularly compared to PSG's 3 goals conceded. But they're not too far ahead of us now, and hopefully we are going to be able to maintain the chase. Gabels, you were superb, my friend. I absolutely adored that. And I think going into the next game, it's time just to, well, with Tottenham on the horizon, rest our entire team. And, well, worry about the rest of the squad stuff next episode when we'll be back. But anyway, guys, yes, that is all from me today. Just as a reminder, there won't be a Lyon Live tomorrow on Tuesday. However, there is going to be the start of a new series. It's a Bottom at Christmas Live challenge, something that I've recorded prior to going away. And, yeah, Lyon Live will be back on Wednesday and Friday this week, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday next week. Just remember that. Don't want you to be caught out by the fact there are a few fewer episodes going up just because I'm away. But, well, nevertheless, I do hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you've got any comments, obviously, leave them down below. Tune in on the channel tomorrow for the new series starting. I promise you it's not the team you'd be expecting for a Bottom at Christmas challenge. And, well, other than that, I'll see you guys next time for Lyon Live. I guess it is me, Jack. Take care, see you soon, and, well, I am out.